വെൽക്കം ബാക്ക് ടു മൈ ചാനൽ. ഇന്നത്തെ എൻ്റെ വീഡിയോ കാലിക്കറ്റ് യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റി BA ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് ലിറ്ററേച്ചറിലെ സെക്കൻഡ് മൊഡ്യൂളിലെ തേർഡ് പോയം ആയ ടു അനക്ടോറിയ ഇൻ ലിഡിയ എന്ന ചാപ്റ്ററിലെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആൻസേഴ്സാണ്. അപ്പം നമുക്ക് വീഡിയോ ഇട്ട് കിടക്കാം. Answer the following in 2 or 3 sentences. 1. What all did Helen leave behind? Helen left behind her husband, who was the best of men. She also left behind her child and her loving parents. 2. To whom is this poem addressed? This poem addressed to Anactoria, the lover of the poet Sappho. 3. How is Anactoria described? Anactoria is described as a beautiful woman like the Helen of Troy. The poet would be more interested to see her lovely step, her sparkling glance, and her face than gaze on all the troops in Lydia in their chariots and glittering armor. Paragraph questions. Answer the following in a paragraph. 1. Discuss the character of Helen as described in the poem. In Greek mythology, Helen is said to have been the most beautiful woman in the world. She is the daughter of Zeus and Leda. She was married to King Menelaus to Sparta. Aphrodite promised Helen to Paris. Paris seduced her and carried off to Troy. This resulted in the Trojan War, when the people of Menelaus set out to reclaim her. Helen abandoned her husband, her child, and also her parents and eloped with her love, Paris. She could not remember, nor was she worried about anything except her love. In a way, she was very courageous as she chooses to do what she liked. Thus, she challenged the societal modes regarding fidelity to the husband, love for the children, and respect for the parents. She was bold enough to give up her husband, child, parents for the sake of her love. 2. How does Sappho evoke the beauty of Anactoria? Sappho evoked the beauty of Anactoria by giving an elaborate description about her. Sappho says that Anactoria was like Helen, the most beautiful woman in the world. She continues to shower praises on her. Anactoria has a lovely gait. The way she walks is beautiful to watch. She has a sparkling glance that would make anyone looking at her happy. She has a beautiful face, and naturally any lover of beauty would be blessed to behold Anactoria, who is the poet's lover. She is so beautiful that the poet would be more interested to see her lovely step, her sparkling glance, and her face than spend her time looking at all the troops in Lydia in their chariots, shiny, glittering armor. Essay questions. 1. Sappho's poetry juxtaposes the superiority of woman's beauty to that of man's jewelry. Explain. It is very true to say that Sappho's poetry juxtaposes the superiority of woman's beauty to that of man's jewelry. Sappho was a prolific poet. Her poetry was well known and greatly admired through much of antiquity, and she was among the canon of 9 lyric poets most highly esteemed by scholars of Hellenistic Alexandria. Sappho's poetry is still considered extraordinary, and her works continue to influence other writers. Beyond her poetry, she is well known as a symbol of love and desire between women, which now we call lesbianism. The English words sapphic and lesbians are derived from her own name and the name of her home island, Lesbos, respectively. Sapphic means relating to lesbians or lesbianism, whilst her importance as a poet is confirmed from the earliest times. All interpretations of her work have been colored and influenced by discussions of sexuality. We can see her lesbian tendencies in the poem, the Anactoria poem. In the poem, she has praised Anactoria in glowing terms. Anactoria is poet's love, but she is not presented at the moment. Even then, the poet is thinking of Anactoria. The poet says she would be more interested to see her lovely step, her sparkling glance, and her face than gaze on all the troops in Lydia in their chariots and glittering armor. In all the epics, we see the fantastic and brave deeds of hero. In Homer's Iliad, we read about some of the significant events of final weeks of the Trojan War and the Greek siege of the city of Troy. We see the great jewelry of heroes like Paris, Agamemnon, and Achilles. In Homer's other epic Odyssey, We have the adventures and wanderings of great hero Odysseus. In Paradise Lost by Milton, there are immense actions involving God and Satan. In the Indian epic Ramayana, we have the brave deeds of Ram, his brother Lakshman, the Sri Lankan villain Ravana, who abducted Sita and Hanuman. In other Indian epic Mahabharata, we have the great battle of Pandavas and Kauravas, in which Lord Krishna himself became the charioteer of Arjuna. But all these various acts of men are seen as trivial compared to the beauty and charm of Anactoria, the poet's lover. To elucidate how Sappho brings about lesbian elements in the Anactoria poem. Sappho's poetry is considered extraordinary and her works continue to influence other writers. Beyond her poetry, she is well known as a symbol of love and desire between women, which now called lesbianism. The English words sapphic and lesbians are derived from her own name and the name of her own island Lesbos. Sapphic means related to lesbians or lesbianism. The English words sapphic and lesbians are derived from her own name and the name of her own island. Sapphic means relating to lesbians or lesbianism. Whilst her importance as a poet is confirmed from the earliest times, all interpretations of her work have been colored and influenced by discussions of sexuality. The lesbian elements are very obvious in the poem titled the Anactoria poem. Sappho thinks Anactoria is like Helen of Troy, the epitome of beauty. Her elopement with Paris was the major cause of Trojan War. Whatever one finds the most beautiful is whatever one loves. Beauty is certain and I need to love. Though her physical beauty was alleged by greatest, Helen herself didn't think so, and she loved her husband, who is supposed to be the best of men, her own child and her loving parents, not to marry Paris. We can see Sappho's lesbian tendencies in the poem. In the poem, she has praised Anactoria in glowing terms. Anactoria is pastoral, but she is not present at the moment. Even then, the poet thinking of Anactoria. She said she would be more interested to see her lovely step, her sparkling glance, and her face than gaze on all the troops in Lydia in their chariots and glittering armor. She says that epics like the Iliad and the Odyssey, the epic of Gilgamesh, etc. are wonderful as they vividly describe the valor and fortitude of brave warriors. Their adventures include fierce battles on land and sea. In fact, the Trojan War, Agamemnon had a fleet of 1,000 ships. Such fantastic sights and all the troops in Lydia in their chariots and glittering armor. Sappho's eyes are nothing compared to the exquisite beauty of her love Anactoria. This is indeed lesbianism at its height. That's all about the questions and answers in this chapter. Hope you understood. Thanks for watching.